Christina's Conscious Synergetic Thought Process presents Planet Utopia, episode 012323, Attempting to Compare Matrices. Song contritely pernicious oversimplification to follow at the end of the video. Stay tuned. Coordinator. When metaphysical intellect attempts to compare the PRJWBCHM misguided interferences and RBF's genius that discovered and developed insights governing the complete family of variables involved in humanity's realization of the most comprehensive computer, obviously there are two matrices to explore. So, two matrices of conceptually different angle and frequency unit magnitudes are potentially relevant but at decidedly non-simultaneously occurring economic insights and outlook relative to the individual's consciousness evolution's anticipatory reality basis. The most economical way systems can behave is relevant to consciousness evolution's contributions to the universal communications process. To make matters less compelling is mind's precariously positioned intuitive accommodation to find its inherent determination aligned with discovering truth more than accumulating the power and glory persuaded by the PRJWBCHM, politics, religion, justice, war, belief complexes, hierarchical matrix as the ultimate attainment. Let's listen in on AQ and QA as they are attempting to compare RBF's matrix and the inherited PRJWBCHM AQ. However, QA, truth is not an attainment, so it must inspire differently directed ascertainment that nevertheless experimentally and experientially involve either matrices interrelationship patterns. We're getting closer to knowing more about the computer predicament humans are in these days, from the look of it, AQ. Having discovered and written the PRJWBCH acronym, the interrelationship patterns that emanate from the womb of permitted ignorance clearly cannot be the isotropic vector matrix QA. Yeah, the energy sum totally derives from different mathematical operations. It is reasonable to suppose. Is that what you suppose, AQ? Apparently, the PRJWBCHM mathematical operations persuade using multiplication and addition, not multiplication only by division. Whoa! Are you saying the isotropic vector matrix inspired conceptioning is specifically referential to multiplication only by division? Come to think of it, AQ, who among our peers imagines that seemingly insignificant difference having anything to do with everyday survival? That's what I'd like to know. The first subdivision of universe's unit magnitude is significant, but most of what our peers deals with day in and day out multiplies, adds, increasing, not decreasing, the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observations and articulations, QA. Hold on. Are you saying unit Magnitude has something to do with the speed of radiation, the speed of light.
Not only does the unit magnitude correlate to the speed of radiation, but also the omniscience that may well be transcendental in its velocity to it. Logically, it must be when mindfully inquisitive as to how the only two possible covariables that are operative in all universe design correlates to the matrix and the computer's discrete interrelationship patterns, QA.
Coordinator, since modification of angle and frequency are the only two possible covariables operative in all universe design, then logically the geometry of thinking differs as the computer's design technology is initiated and develops. Perhaps both computer designs initiated as fundamentally similar in intentions to develop a usable access to the computer, but having to placate compelling funding stipulations by the PRJWBCHM interrelating factors, misguiding interferences, all potential implications considered, compromises were made along the way. It may have been where deselecting vectorial and spherical geometry that starts with the universe and the tetrahedron as the first subdivision, also dismissed or covertly coveted. The vector equilibrium also resorted to insights inspiring algorithms. The algorithms therefrom could manipulate predictable control correlating what obviously requires adding more and more data or data from which to select usable key factors ingrained in humans' thought-language experience, the telltale triggering impulses that people incorporate into all nuances and aspects of their interpersonal survival requirements. Such multiplication by addition may have initiated with some vague intention to accomplish ephemeralization, but then doing more with fewer ergs of energy per accomplished task got lost along the way somehow. Hypothetically, this may have been when it seemed easier to contrive algorithms for controlling predictable outcomes than admitting RBF's discoveries, which the universities apparently were not equipped to accommodate. But this is guesswork. Just a hunch from tidbits of incoming but quickly fading news events, those one-time articulations that comes in and goes out so fast, where unfamiliarity of any word like ephemeralization is too strange to give it more concentrated thought. Besides, algorithms seem closer related to promises of amassing accumulations of wealth that further accommodates delusional imbalances. The delusional imbalances are egotistically self-serving, conducive to ignoring the most comprehensive conceptual and reasoning functions that technically and literally correspond to the human initiative's cosmic energization. AQ.
Different frequencies in their phases of symmetry ought to be of relevant concern to humans, QA.
Hey, if that's a shortcut to planet Utopia, count me on board.
Me too, QA. Anyway, the phases of symmetry appeal to the human imagination's ability to formulate conceptually as our species' evolution design advantage to identify generalized patterns of the constant relative abundance.
Back to topology and geometry, conceptualizing the tetrahedron's topological characteristics. That much I am familiar with, AQ.
This is where topology and geometry are essentially fundamentally conceptual, referential, universal self-regenerating energy. Conceptualization of the tetrahedron's vector equilibrium unit magnitude.
Whoa, way to go, AQ. Pulling it out. Memories almost lost. Thought, language, process, it seems to me.
Presently, the online news apprises us of extreme human behavior, as the people are not also informed of the other computer that naturally would be processing different anticipatory realities.
Yeah, they're venting, reinventing PRJWBCHM games like there's nothing new to look forward but big tanks, big guns, bigger than big, debt loads. Come on, where's that going? If not the reenacting articulations in hopeless increases of the residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation. That's what I'd like to know, okay?
This seems to be related to choosing the wrong coordinate system, QA, not RBF's discoveries of the invisible circuitry of nature.
Whoa! People can't connect with invisible, QA.
But that's where it comes from and goes to, that we barely know anything about, QA, until we are informed of the new phase of geometry employing the invisible circuitry and the computer based on its design, the subvisible dimensioned domains.
Domains, oh, yeah, that's getting closer and closer to what people like the sound of. Their internet domain, the HTTP whatever.
Let's not forget Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, etc. becoming close to ad infinitum, with more folks venting like needles in haystacks. Almost impossible to locate us on planet Utopia.
One thing's for sure, planet Utopia is not a weird version of group therapy gone awry from the look of it. AQ, really? I mean, in the most disconnected, remote to even more remote disassociation.
Coordinator, let's recall again today the easily rememberable 8 U's of planet Utopia. U for ubiquitous, U for understanding, U for unifying, U for unique, U for unity, U for universe, U for us. U for Utopia. We are highly intelligent evolving human mammalians, a species of the eternal omniscient mind, Eon, ubiquitously understanding us, designing systems for survival on planet Utopia. Until next time, I continue anticipating our healthy, happy coexistence on Earth and on planet Utopia. Reference RBF, R. Buckminster Fuller. Synergetics Table of Contents. Synergetics 427.06. Synergetics 427.10. First Amendment. Declaration of Independence. How the U.S. government is organized. Music. My co-writer, Side Stick Ballad. Contact planetutopia60@gmail.com. Stay tuned for the song Contritely Pernicious Oversimplification to follow. Thank you.
pardon me if I do not feel the slightest inclination to accommodate contritely pernicious oversimplifications.
It seems ever to regenerate
Some inequitable penitence, for God's sake, that originated during exemplifying self-repugnance.
oddly enough and unnecessarily so.
Justice is at play. When histrionics is given an honored starring role, how is one unreasonably supposed to be posed?
Is the exculpatory
Self-redemption systemically closed, plugged into network outlets, inflowing goals, compared to AAA NOEA, an absolute accommodation network of energy articulation. Why substitute permitted ignorance, unbalanced matrix? Disseminated truths of universe do not equal exorbitant fines. Those fines and fees as penitence really do displace our humanity. Pardon me if I do not feel the slightest inclination to accommodate your contritely pernicious oversimplification. Oh, yeah.